I don't know what I'm about to hear here, but let's check it out. Reforge, clip by Astro Cyborg. Using his tweet to triple down on $80 game prices, he keeps saying how he loves pointing out facts as a jab to drops. Apparently, Legendary Drops said something about, man, these games being somewhat expensive. He keeps saying how he loves pointing out facts, blah, 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 blah. Let's just listen.
Here's what's interesting, okay? Legendary Drops' position seems to be, don't bring those facts into the discussion. Keep those facts out of here. Nobody cares about those facts. Oh, okay. I mean, you can have that opinion. My opinion is that I'm allowing both. I'm allowing you to be upset about a price increase. I'm letting that in the room. I'm making space for that. But I'm also making space for facts. The facts are, we have had basically static video game prices for almost 30 years. They haven't gone up. And because of inflation, the actual price of video games have gone down for the last 30 years, while the games have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
But have the games gotten better and better and better? The answer to that is absolutely no. Also, has the gaming market seen a lot of growth in terms of saturation? Why is nobody talking about market saturation? Okay, Reforge may have a line of thinking here, and Legendary Drops may have a line of thinking here, but the one missing piece every single time that I listen to anybody talk is that none of these people are actually mentioning the market saturation that is out here with these games. Look at, say, when the Nintendo Switch came out. Let's just say if at the time the Nintendo Switch came out, you were gaming on PC and you bought yourself a Nintendo Switch, right? Because there just, were not really a lot of games out there. You had access to only 6,000 games that year in 2017, right? You could only have access to 6,935 games. That was all that you got. The next year, you had access to 8,881 games. The following year, you had access to 8,090 games. The following year, you had access to 9,674 games. The following year, you had access to 11,286 games. The next year, you had access to 12,353 games. In this kind of market, followed by another year of 14,253 games, followed by another year of 18,874 games, and current year, 4,959 games. How dare anybody think that they can increase prices as these games are flowing like water to you on that platform? Even if we don't even say, so the growth factor from the launch of the Switch at about 6,000. So look at this. If we look at all the games available even before the year of the launch of the Switch and we add them together from 2006 to 2017, which is a similar timeline from 06 to 17 here, actually not even a similar timeline, a longer timeline. Yeah, this is 11 years compared to the 8 years that we have now. There are way more games in a much shorter time than there were in a longer time. Why is everybody missing this one specific reality when they're talking about video game prices? It just makes no sense that the industry would grow this big, and as games flowing like water with a lot of the different options, that anybody would think that they would continue to price their games the same way. They'd be out of business. This doesn't even include the Big 15. Well, it probably does, but it doesn't include the effect of the Big 15. Fortnite, GTA Online, Call of Duty, the FIFAs, and all of these guys who actually eat, in terms of gamer percentage, significant chunks of player time when it comes down to it. But if we even go look at, say, maybe Matt Piscatella and his Steam data, let's just look at Matt Piscatella and his data on Steam, we're not even talking about the other consoles, the other options out there, right? When we look at the top 15 on Steam, you're going to realize that these guys, this is the console guys. Where are the Steam guys? This is Steam. CSGO, that's basically been there for a long time. Warframe, Destiny 2, Team Fortress, Dota, which are being pushed down now by some of the newer titles, but you still have some Rocket League. Schedule 1 just made its way in there. Helldivers 2. These are the games that are also sucking time, and if you look, most of them are live service games. Even on the Steam side, on the console side, almost everything is a live service game. Once in a while, a single player game will come on in. Reforge, there is no case to make that these development firms have some kind of a right to raise their game prices. Not saying they shouldn't, just saying that they will go out of business because there are games to play. Inflation or not inflation, supply is insane. This is not even a demand supply curve. Supply has gone out of whack.
It's evidenced by Tears of the Kingdom versus Link to the Past, as I argued, as Grok backed me up. It's like Legend of Zelda in 1991, Link to the Past was like $130 according to inflation. And
well, at that time, there were no freaking, what is that number again? There were not about 19, what was the year? What was it? Breath of the Wild, 2017. 6,000 games that year. Tears of the Kingdom, when it came out, I think it came out 23. 14,000 games had already launched by that year, or 2022, sorry. Was 23, right? So you have to think about that as a factor. It must be factored in. What are the other available products on the market? What does supply look like?
Listen, the point is not to say that makes it okay. Don't shadow box, don't straw man. I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm saying you have to align your expectations with reality.
Nah, reality states that Nintendo is going to sit there waiting for my money. See, ladies and gentlemen, when I made the case and I made the videos saying, guys, there are games here to play, some people were basically fighting they were punching air. Oh, you think people don't know where free games are? You missed the point. Oh, you think people don't really know that they have sales out there? You missed the point. The exact reason that there are sales out there every given day, week, month of the year, or quarter of the year, or holiday of the year, is simply because there are just too many games to push for such an investment. And this is just accounting for what Steam has access to alone. Both on the AAA, AA, indie, whatever budget, guy made it in the middle of his mom and pop shop video game is already available and saturating the market. Talk about consoles. Now people are finding more and more stuff. Talk about subscription services like PlayStation Plus and Game Pass, which is the subscription service on steroids since 2017. Let's even do, if we even did a Game Pass to Nintendo Switch comparison since 2017 and how much Game Pass has basically become a juggernaut, it just makes no sense to try to price your game at $70 and think that you're going to go out there and you're going to win everybody. Perhaps there are people who will buy those games, not saying anything, but people have a right to have actually, it's not like there's no precedence of them enjoying more value for less money, that they're just complaining in a vacuum.
We should have expected this to eventually happen. So when can it happen?
Never. Never. Anybody who's trying to brute force their way is playing stupid games, and they're going to win stupid prizes along the line. It's never. Why? There is a market tugging going back and forth from everywhere. Has Nintendo considered the Fortnite slap? Huh.
That's my question. When's it allowed to happen? When?
Never. If you're asking, I'll keep answering. Never. Why? Those same games are almost immediately getting a little bit of fat scraped off of them and coming to you within months at a discounted price. We're seeing all of them. Black Ops 6 came out in October of last year. Now, You can go in there on Steam and buy yourself a copy for $49. A game which launched at $70 has now received a significant discount of $20. Why? Because even they themselves, being the premier paid for shooting game in the world, would be foolish to not realize that other games are going to come out here and take your time. Let Nintendo try it. Let them do it. I want to see this thing play out, bro. All this talking on the internet, I want to see people actually pull $80 out of their wallet and step over hundreds of games that are on sale, right? Let's see how they pull it off. I had a PlayStation back in 2016. I remember going to the stores. I remember looking at the sales and going, man, these sales are not really that compelling. And looking at them today and going, whoa, they're giving away the farm. Let Nintendo try. Let them try. I'm curious to see how this plays out. That they'll be trying to sell a game for $80 when the rest of the market is saying, yo, come get in here. I'm curious to see it, man. Which publisher? They'll come out with $90 and $80 price point, $100 price point is to basically catch all the people who are basically drawn with hype. That's what that's designed for. That's all that's designed for. The people who are patient, they're usually more than the people who jump in the very first few, minutes of the game. Those who are patient, they usually lag on and they get the very best deal. And that's a significant number of them. In fact, the data already shows that. Matt Piscatella came out and said that only how many percent of gamers, what was it? Was it 12% or so that would buy more than one game every month, right? I mean, we have the data right there. So Nintendo, you can keep trying. I mean, welcome to this new market. Let's see how that works out for you.
When can the price of games go up? When? 2030? 2040? 2050?
They ain't going anywhere. Technology has basically simplified more than, previously the process of making video games. Intellect, experience, knowledge is now out there. Games can be made, beautiful looking games. Are y'all seeing this game? Let me go to the pre-orders of here. I keep forgetting the name because I'm not bothered with it. But it's this game called, whatchamacallit? The one made by the former GTA person that's coming out in June. This one, Mind's Eye. Bro, look how clean this game looks. Look how clean this game looks. This cat came out of Rockstar and he's about to rock everywhere. That knowledge that has been fostered and kept under wraps within companies and corporations has now been let loose as former creative directors and game producers are out there sitting with free engines in front of them with their buddies capable of doing some real crazy stuff, or them being able to make solid game pitches from the knowledge that they have. Bro, are these people even concerned about the gaming industry? Do they even, you know what? I'm good, man. Let's just call this quits. Thanks for watching. Peace out.